Hello everyone. Today I am going to start a very new exciting series on DevOps, and especially I will discuss Azure DevOps, and this series will be for beginners only. So I will start with the very basic and I will try my best to make it super simple for you to understand when you hear this word Azure DevOps. Okay, so let's start without wasting time that what we are going to discuss today, Azure DevOps, and we will discuss all the common services which are part of Azure. It is Azure Planning, it is Azure Pipeline, Azure Artifact, Azure Test Plans. We will touch all those services. Okay, so let's start without wasting time. So, what Azure DevOps is? According to Microsoft, if we use DevOps, we can plan smarter, collaborate better, and ship faster with a set of modern dev services. Okay, so there is a very important term which is modern dev services. It means when we are talking about DevOps, either it is Azure or it is any other cloud, so it means we are talking about modern dev services which really help us in planning, collaboration, and shipping the product. Okay, then let's go by definition. So DevOps is the union of people, yes, because without people we cannot complete any process, right? And it contains processes and technology. Definitely to deliver any software product, we definitely need a technology, and that provides a continuous value to development and operations. And the DevOps approach encourages team collaboration that creates repeatable process to help organizations operate efficiently and at scale. So all these collaboration between process, technology, and people, how we are achieving that great collaboration with the help of modern dev services, right? So whenever you hear about the word DevOps, so you can think about DevOps services or DevOps practices or a DevOps culture to collaborate so that we can deliver value to our customer with the help of repeatable development and operations process. Okay, I hope this definition clear to you now. Okay, so let's move ahead. So let's see this very well-known picture whenever we talk about DevOps. Okay, so these all you can see there are many tools with this infinity symbol. And why it is infinity? Because as we said earlier, it is a repeatable process. Okay, it starts from planning, and for planning in Azure DevOps we can use Azure Boards. Okay, and don't worry, I will showcase you all these services in my Azure DevOps account, but let's understand this by definition. Okay, so Azure Boards really help us in planning. Then we have Azure Lab Services. We have repos, like we have Git repo. In the same way in ADO, we have Azure Repos. Then we have Azure Artifact. Whenever we perform build operation, we receive artifact that contains the build binaries and all. Then we do the continuous integration, and after that we create Azure Pipeline, which really help us in continuous integration and continuous deployment. And then we perform operations, right? And there is a continuous feedback on each sprint by sprint. So this is a very repeatable process, so that every sprint will contain a meaningful value for our client and customer. You can see at different point of time we can use different services. For example, when we are talking about continuous integration, we can use white source scanning tool, which is white source OSS scan. We can use Sonar Cube. We can use static code analysis for that. We can use Selenium testing. We can use Azure Test Plan, Logic Apps, Power BI, and retros. I mean, in that we definitely we find out what is good and what is bad, and what we need to carry out further. So we can use all of the DevOps services, or we can just choose the one that we need to uh, complement your existing workflow. Okay, or that you need to enhance your existing workflow. Okay, so whenever you see this symbol, so it will always contain a set of services that we use. so that we enrich our collaboration within the people, process, and technology. And with the help of all these, we definitely deliver value. Okay, I hope, I mean, this is a very basic thing. It looks complex, but it is not. It is very simple. It is really developed for the very well maintained communication. Okay, so let's move ahead. Let's go, the services which are very common whenever we talk about Azure DevOps. So one of them is Azure Boards. So Azure Board says we deliver value to users faster using proven agile tools to plan, track, and discuss work across your teams. So I have already created a video series on how Agile works. So you can check the link in the description of this video, because Agile and DevOps works together to deliver the value. Because when we say it is a repeatable manner, every sprint by sprint, we do some work, we deliver some work, and we take the feedback from client, and then we work on another sprint. So with the help of this Azure board, we can manage all these things. Don't worry, I will show you on the Azure tool as well how it looks like. But another definition also says we can track work with configurable Kanban boards. Kanban board is very easy when we really want to take the feedback from each member of our team. For example, in daily stand up, who is working on what and what is the current status of that, and either it is completed or it is pending or it is blocked. So all those things we can easily track in the Kanban board. So it is a very interactive backlog that we can get from there. And the powerful planning tool and unparalleled traceability and reporting make board the perfect home for all your ideas, either it is big or small. Because we really, when we divide the big thing into small pieces or small work, then it is really easy to manage and to deliver as well, right? So Azure board plays a very important role in planning, especially when we talk about any of the big project. Then we have Azure Pipeline, and Azure Pipeline is again very powerful service which says it really helps us in building, testing, and deploying with continuous integration and continuous deployment, and that works with any language platform and with any cloud, right? And especially it connects to GitHub or any other Git provider and deploy continuously. So it is not like the Azure cloud will only work with Azure repos. You can also work with Git repos as well. And another part says, while it is helping building, testing, and deploying in any language, either it is on premise, right? So it is also help in that manner as well. You can run in parallel or on Linux, Mac OS, and Windows, and deploy containers to individual hosts or Kubernetes, right? So you can see it contains almost every part of either it is cloud modernization or it is any kind of project, any kind of repo. So it easily fits into that chain as well. So this is very powerful. I will showcase you in my upcoming videos how we are leveraging continuous integration and continuous deployment with the help of this service. So another part is Azure Repos. Yes, you can definitely create unlimited free private repositories in your ADO account. And while you are using the unlimited cloud hosted private Git repositories, and you just collaborate to build better code with pull request and advanced file management. Because if there is a better branching policies, better pull request mechanism, and it is well managed, then it really help us to deliver in pace and definitely develop the code in a much better way, right? So unlimited free private repos we can create. So it is very flexible, powerful Git hosting with effective code review we can easily implement, and unlimited free repository for all your ideas from one person project to the world largest repository. Really, it is very powerful, and it provides you many mechanisms so you can easily protect Your repo, you can apply certain policies on that, who can access, who cannot, either it is pull request related, either it is reviewers related, or it is any other restrictions. Another service is Azure Test Plans. So test and shipping with confidence, definitely if we have better test planning. Testing is a very critical phase when we work on enterprise level project, because in testing, I mean, when we go start with the unit testing, then it's a functional testing, then it's a integration testing, and when, because it provides very rich features, so it is easily track which which test cases we are writing for which feature, which PPI, and it can easily integrate them. We can easily check the code changes and what was the last status of that, and what blockers we are facing. So all these kind of things related to test area easily can be managed with the help of Azure Test Plans, right? So a test often and release with the confidence, it improve all your code quality with manual and exploratory testing tools for your app. So it is again very important one. Another important one is Azure Artifacts. So we can create the artifact. I mean, artifact is a very backbone of for any project. Whenever you build, so you create the artifact, and some will be very common that we use in every build, and some will be dynamic that generated after every build, right? So creating, hosting and sharing package with your team, it makes very easy, and add artifact to your CI/CD pipeline with a single click, because whenever you perform with continuous integration and continuous deployment, at that time you definitely need all your artifacts. So it is a universal package repository, you can say, and you can share Maven, npm, NuGet, and Python packages from public and private sources with your entire team, and integrate package sharing into your CI/CD pipeline in a way that simple and scalable, right? So this is another very important service from Azure Artifact point of view. And the last one, which is another important one, it is a extensions marketplace. So Microsoft says you can access extension from Slack to Sonar Cloud, and there are 1,000+ other apps or in the services that built by the community that you can easily integrate in your flow if it is required in your application building or integration or deployment. So some famous are is Docker integration, Slack integration, Sentry, GitHub integration, and time tracker. So now let's have a look what is actually required to create the Azure DevOps account. And there is a need for creating Azure organization, then we need to create Azure project, and then we need to create Azure repo. Okay, so let's have a look practically how we create it at a very initial level. Okay, to create the Azure DevOps account, you should go to this URL, which is dev.azure.com, and the moment you will hit enter, after entering this URL, you will come on this page, and it says you can start with the free, or you can start with your GitHub account. Okay, if you will click on start free, so you will be redirected here, and here it is asking if you have your Outlook account, or you already have your GitHub account, or your any Microsoft account, so you can use here. Otherwise you have to create one after clicking on this link. If you will click here, create one, then you have to provide your email and other simple instructions, and then your account will be created. So if I go back, because I have already created my account, I will type here hit next. I just provided my password, so it is asking for stay signed in. I put no. Okay, now it is asking which directory you want to select. If I click on switch directory, so it is showing Microsoft account and default account. This time I will select Microsoft account and click on continue. So now as you can see here in our steps, we go here, our account is created. As I said, you can also use your Azure portal account as well. Okay, so it will work in this way as well. So we have to create our organization name. Okay, so we can provide here, for example, let's say, let me try to use this one if it is available. Let's see. Okay, let's say the location is West Europe, and we have to type this captcha code. Okay, so let's type, and hit on continue. Okay, now it says the specific name is already reserved. Okay, let's type something else. Okay, West Europe, that's fine. And let me type captcha once again. Okay, hope it's fine this time. Okay, so meanwhile it is creating our organization. So now you can see our organization is created and the name is TechWebORG, right? And now the next step will be we need to provide our project name, what will be the name of the project and what kind of project we want. Okay, so this time let me give the name. For example, let's say I want to use the name TechWeb and I want to create one project with this name. Okay, now so what we have done so far, we have used this URL dev.azure.com. We logged in with our account, we created the organization, and by using Microsoft account, that directory, Microsoft account directory, and we created the TechWeb org organization. Okay, this is our organization, and we created our project. Okay, so we can see here all the services that we talked about. We have Azure Boards. Under Azure Boards we can see work item, boards, backlog, sprint, queries, delivery plans. We have repo, and this is a fresh new project. So we have pipeline, we have test plans, and we have artifact. Okay, if I go under repository, just so it is creating, by default a one TechWeb empty repo, and it is created with the name of our project name. As of now you can see there is no branch is created, only a default blank repository is created, right, that we can see here. So that's it in this video, and our repo is also created with the project name. Let's go back to the presentation. I hope it is clear for you now how the basic steps work when we really start with the Azure ADO. Your organization is ready, your project is ready, and your repo is ready, right? So when we talk about, you can also use your Azure free account. If you have not created yet, you can create one for free for yourself, and you will get a great number of credit. It says $200 credit you will easily get, and there is a comprehensive security and compliance which is already built in, and Microsoft says they invest more than $1 billion annually on cyber security and research and development, so you can feel your code and your things are very much secure. And Azure has more certification than any other cloud provider. For example, it is HIPAA compliant, it is ITAR compliant, and it is ISO compliant, and you can see there are many more. I will give you a link in the description of this video so you can check over there, and once your free credit is finished, then you can definitely move to pay as you go model, right? And there are many services that you can use for first 12 months, and then it will be pay as you go on model, right? So another important thing, the pricing stuff, right? So Microsoft says if you are an individual user who is creating your DevOps account, so you can use one free Microsoft hosted CI/CD. So whenever we perform CI/CD operation, it is continuous integration or continuous building, definitely we need some space, we need some server where that processing will happen. So Microsoft giving that for you is free. So that says one free self-hosted CI/CD and one free Microsoft hosted, right? So you got two, and there are many descriptions that you can read out here. And you also got the Azure Artifact, but there is a limitation of a space. It says 2 GB, okay, free, and then after that it is $2 per gigabyte. Okay, and I will give you the link so you can easily go through. So at the bottom you can see it is 1800 minutes free for one free parallel job, right? And if you take the user license, so definitely for the first 5 users it is free, and then it will be $6 per user per month, right? So you can start for free and you can check all these Azure Pipeline, Boards, Repo, Artifact, and if you are going the other plan, so definitely you will receive more services. For example, Azure Test One, which is a very rich application actually to manage the enterprise level testing. I hope you liked the video. If you have any question, any suggestion, you can drop into the comment box. I will try to reply on that as soon as I can. And don't forget to give the thumbs up, because that's the only inspiration for me to create such videos. If you think you understand a bit better than before what I explained in this video, so thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video where we will see how we leverage this Azure Repo for creating Azure services. For example, a static web app. So I will see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye.